One of the things that the biblical writers do is that they employ usages where things that are going on in a story have other meanings in the end. And you see that. We call that foreshadowing in a literary theme. And foreshadowing, nobody goes, oh, you're reading into something or you're making. We all know that happens in books. The authors, though, do it in a little bit different way. They do it in a way where what Jesus is having done to him has implications to the things that are being done to others. And it's sort of a backwards way of reading. And the Gospel of Mark employs this many times in the healing ministry of Jesus. And I'm not going to take time to go through every one of them. We may at some point do a longer teaching on this. But for instance, there's this really interesting passage in Mark where Jesus takes someone who is blind, he takes them outside of the city, and he spits on them. Now, you may not have read that and thought too much about it, but I mean, spitting on somebody in any culture is a derogatory thing. And you got to start asking the question, why would Jesus do that? Like, why is Mark recording that Jesus spits on this guy's face to heal him of his blindness? Well, the reason that's important is because Mark has taught us something that we all know intuitively as Christians. We know that Jesus, when he died, he secured not only our salvation, but he secured our eternity, and he ultimately secured healing in the ultimate sense. Not everybody gets healed in the here and now, but to say that people will not be healed eventually would not be biblically right. And to say that it's not God's will to heal you is not fair either, because God does want to heal us. It just doesn't always happen in the here and now. But the reason that passage is there is because that man can be healed because of what has happened to Jesus. And later on in Mark, and he tells us this, and he's the one who tells us this, he tells us that Jesus, when he was being beaten before he was taken to the cross, as he was taking the woundings and the piercings for you and me and all of the things that he did to secure our salvation, the soldiers blindfold Jesus and they spit on him. That's not there by accident. It just didn't happen that Mark recorded that. Mark recorded that because the same Jesus that has been blindfolded and spit upon, that is securing our salvation and our ultimate healing, is able to heal this blind man because of what's happened to him. Jesus' sacrifice brings healing. By his wounds, we've been healed. In context, that's more salvific. But I think we all agree that Jesus has healed us ultimately from every sickness and every disease. And so Mark, in a literary way, doesn't take away from the fact that these things happened historically, but he records for us that the man who was blindfolded and spit upon is able to heal the man who is blind, who gets spit upon, because of what's happened to him. Now, what I would encourage you to do is to make an application. What are the things that have happened in our lives, the bruisings, the hurt, the pain? What are those things that Jesus, because of what he's done, can take away those things in our life and give us newness of life? And I think that's what he wants to do for all of us.